Yo! What's up, traders? Welcome back to the channel. Today was absolutely wild. We had a stock that literally got halted by the circuit breaker and then exploded 366%. Yeah, you heard that right. 366% in a single day. LHAI was absolutely on fire. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We're also seeing massive moves across the board. Some incredible gains. But also some brutal sell-offs that will shock you. Stick around because we're breaking down every single top mover from today. And trust me, you don't want to miss this. Let's get into it. Alright, so July 1st, 2026 was one for the history books. Folks, we saw some absolutely extreme volatility across multiple sectors today. The market opened with Wall Street set to trade lower, which set the tone for what would become an interesting session with massive winners and massive losers. We're talking about penny stocks moving on big catalysts. Asian equities trading through ADRs seeing serious action. And some material corporate agreements driving huge moves. On the flip side, we had some significant sell-offs in certain sectors, particularly in construction and media companies. Today really showed us that in this market. You can see 366% moves in one direction and 78% drops in the other. That's the kind of volatility we need to respect as traders. Let's break down exactly what happened. T's start with the absolute monster of the day. LHAI. This stock gained 366.7% and closed at $3.08 with an insane volume of 634 million shares traded. That's 2.0x relative volume, which means double the average daily volume. Here's the thing. This stock was halted on the circuit breaker due to the massive move. When you see a circuit breaker halt, it means the stock moved so fast so hard that the exchanges literally had to pause trading. ND resistance going forward. Next up, we've got $TC gaining 133%. Closing at $4.31 with 129.5 million shares traded. Again, 2.0x relative volume. This is an Asian equity trading as an ADR on American exchanges. The news mentions Wall Street set to open lower in Wednesday trading, which suggests there might have been some overnight international catalyst that caught fire when the US markets opened. $TC is now sitting at a critical level. W. At $4.00 to $4.50 range closely. Then we've got SDOT up 105.7% at $72.19 with 13.2 million shares traded. This one is interesting because the news mentions food product companies trading higher. And there's also an SEC 8K filing about entry into a material definitive agreement. That's corporate speak for something major is happening. This could be an acquisition, a partnership, or a major contract win. At $72.19. This stock nearly dough. ACH for resistance at $75 to $80. Number 4. $DXF surged 105.5% and closed at $0.752 with massive volume. 432 million shares traded at 2.0x relative volume. The news mentions Asian technology shares trading higher. And again we're seeing Asian equities. This is a penny stock that doubled in value. These are the kinds of moves that can either make you a lot of money or burn you badly. Support is probably around $0.50. Resistance at $1. Resistance at $1.00. And finally in our gainers. EHGO gained 97.7% and sits at $2.57 with 113 million shares traded. The company announced pricing of a 750,000 registered direct offering, which could be dilutive but also shows they're raising capital, possibly for operations or acquisitions. At $2.57, this stock nearly doubled. Watch the $2.00 to $2.50 range for potential support. So here's what we're seeing across all these gainers. EHGO got absolutely hammered today, starting with $TPC. This construction company lost 78.6% and closed at $17.76 with only 673,000 shares traded. That's extremely light volume on a massive drop, which is actually concerning. It suggests there wasn't enough buying interest to stabilize the stock. The news mentions it's a momentum stock that surged 70% over the past year. So this is likely a profit-taking event after that run. However, severe can signal much deeper problems next. SSTK lost 29.3% and closed at $9.86 with 4 million shares traded. This is Shutterstock. And here's the catalyst. Their planned merger with Getty Images was cancelled. That's a massive deal breaking, folks. When a merger you've been expecting doesn't happen, the stock usually gets punished because investors were pricing in the merger benefits. The news mentions they plunged 30%. So reminder that not all deals close. Then we've got OPTU down 26.2% at $1.07 with 52 million shares traded. That's relative volume of 2.0x on the downside. The news mentions why the stock is nosediving. And there's also mention of a subsidiary, CSC Investments 2, expecting to buy 120 million shares. That's a massive dilution play, folks. When you see subsidiary share purchases in the tens of millions, that usually means major dilution is KORU. Support could be around $0.75. Number 4. CAST lost 24.7% and closed at $5.06 with 1.6 million shares traded. This is free CAST. And the news mentions they're pricing a $23.7 million private placement. Private placements are dilutive. They mean existing shareholders' ownership gets watered down because new shares are being issued at a discount to raise cash. That's why the stock sold off at $5.06. Watch the $4.00 level as critical. T breaks. We could see $3.00 next. And finally, KORU. This is brutal. It lost 23.4% and closed at $598.80 with 3.4 million shares traded. But here's the crazy part. The news says this stock is up 236% year to date. Yes, up 236%, and it just lost half its value in recent trading. This is a South Korea-focused ETF. And investors are apparently taking profits after a massive run. The key thing here is that even though it lost. Alright, so what should we be watching for tomorrow? First, understand that after a day like today, we might see some mean reversion. Stocks that gained 366% in a day often see profit taking the next session. Watch LHAI for the critical $2.50 to $3.00 support level. If it holds, this could be the start of a sustained move up. If it breaks, we could see a violent pullback. Second, keep your eye on the merger and acquisition space. The SDOT material definitive agreement could have follow-up news that impacts the stock. Further, similarly, Watch $SSTK for any statements from management about what's next after the Getty merger fell through. Third, $OPTU and $CAST. These dilution plays often continue to struggle in the short term as the market processes the impact of new shares. But they can also stabilize quickly if the capital raise is actually put to productive use. Fourth, the Asian ADR plays, $TC and $DXF. These could see volatility as we get overnight reports from Asian markets. Make sure you're monitoring those international news sources. And finally, momentum reversals like $TPC and KORU need to be watched closely. If these support levels break, we could see much bigger moves. Conversely, if they hold, it might just be profit taking and not a fundamental shift. For tomorrow, the key strategy is this. Don't chase the massive gainers without understanding the catalyst. Respect the support and resistance levels we've identified. And for the losers, be careful about bottom fishing until you see a stabilization pattern. Today taught us that big moves work both ways, and we need to be ready for either scenario when we open tomorrow. Every single day after market close, we break down the top gainers and losers so you never miss a major move. Whether it's a 366% explosive gainer like $LHAI or a 78% crash like $TPC, we've got you covered. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that bell notification so you get alerted the moment we publish a new video. Tomorrow we'll be covering a brand new set of movers from the markets. And based on today's action, you know it's going to be interesting. See you then. If you want to dive deeper into technical analysis, stock setups, and get daily insights into market movements, head over to TDVW.com. That's where we break down everything in even more detail with charts, levels, and actionable trade ideas. The link is in the description below. Don't just watch the market. Understand it. See you tomorrow for the next market recap.